I tried to break up with him when we were dating about 5 times, but God would not let me leave.
Welcome to Grace and Alignment, where we talk about business, faith, and marriage. I'm JW, and this is Sissy.
So, this is Valentine's Day weekend. Even though we don't really celebrate the commercialized
Yeah.
holiday because his birthday is the 13th, so I put all my energy into that. But this
Yay!
is a good time to discuss love. We'll be married 20 years this year, so we
Yeah.
just thought we would talk about how we met and our love story, right?
Yeah.
So, how did it all get started,
It's
JW?
a great topic, what we're talking about today. So, I had two mutual friends, but I didn't know that one of the mutual friends worked with Sissy.
Mhm.
So I was hanging out with her boyfriend, and he was one of my mutual friends too. So we used to hang out and go to parties and stuff. I was just hanging out. And then I just knew that that wasn't what I wanted to do. So I asked the young lady, Sissy's mutual friend and mine, do you have a nice young lady that I could go out with and date or whatever? And the gentleman, her boyfriend, he told her, because she had told me, she said, no, I don't know nobody. I don't know nobody that you could date or hang out with. I just don't know nobody. So the guy, her boyfriend had, which he was a mutual friend of mine too, which they both still are. And he was like, I know who I want him to meet, one of your good friends. And he was talking about Sissy, which he told his girlfriend at the time, and she hooked us up, so got us introduced and stuff.
Yeah,
So
so I
it
think
went
we
from there.
went on a blind date.
Hmm.
So we met at their house
Right.
and we all went out um, for the first night, you know. Um, I didn't really feel anything, I guess. I think I think and I say that because like my first impression, he was skinny. Sorry. Um and we had talked the day before.
Mm.
She was like, here's his phone number, call just to kind of get acquainted. And so I called, talked to him over the phone. But when I got off the phone, I was like, oh my gosh. Now we are both, kind of from the South,
Yeah.
but he's really his voice seemed, I mean, I'm used to it now. I mean, we've
Yeah.
been physically together for 23 years. But yeah, so then it just seemed very, very Southern, and I really couldn't
Yeah.
understand the conversation. And I just told her, okay, I'm just gonna go out with you just because you asked, because I said yes, and I do. I am a woman of my word, but I
Yeah.
wasn't really looking forward to it.
Right.
Um, because blind dates is not,
Yeah.
you
But
know.
we had an exciting time, which I thought we did.
Yeah, I'm not saying that we did not have an exciting time,
So
but that was just like a first impression. So,
yeah.
like,
So
what was it that surprised you the most about me on the first night?
well, what surprised me the most was you were so just like you are now. You hadn't really changed a lot. You were so talkative and direct about things that you
Hmm.
wanted to say or whatever. So
Right.
that's what.
Yeah.
Surprised me.
I think what surprised me about you was because our two friends, which I really didn't know him that well. So I'll just say my girlfriend,
Hmm.
very talkative, very outgoing. He was as well, the other gentleman, but
Yeah.
he was super, super quiet, very reserved. Maybe, you know how people say, like, I met his representative.
Right.
He sent his representative on our first date because he was not the true person.
but but it all came out eventually. Who you are, it will come out. So,
Yeah,
and it did come out.
yeah.
So
And
very
I will say that, God wasn't at the center of it
no.
initially because, like, my girlfriend, she knew I was kind of doing my own thing. I was
Right.
partying too,
Yeah.
as you was partying with him.
Right.
But looking back, he was directing every step,
He
right?
was. He was directing every step.
So I feel like our conversations was fairly easy at the beginning,
Yeah.
right? I
Yeah.
mean, in like the connection was like natural.
Yeah. It was great
I
connection.
felt comfortable early, which kind of scared me
Hmm.
because both of us were married
Yeah.
prior. I was married 4.5 years or so,
Yeah.
and he was married before.
Right.
So, what do you think um, after the first few weeks? Like, what was different from like a past relationship?
It was the that we can talk and make decisions together. So it wasn't just solely one person doing it.
Hmm.
It was always a great conversation about anything that we wanted to do. It was always a big consideration of each
Right,
other,
and we
you
could
know.
make them together because I
Right.
know we talked about our prior relationship, and
Yeah.
I was in more of a controlling situation, so it was kind of a one-sided
Hmm.
person making the decision.
Right.
So,
And I
yeah,
thought I had to make a lot of decisions too, but I wasn't. It wasn't controlling decisions. I think it was just them want me to make all the
hmm,
decisions, in
right,
which it helps and things will go better, and you'll know who you with if y'all make them together and be considerate, like I said before, one another.
right.
So,
So, when did you see that the connection was real with us?
well, I'll talk about another outing that we was on. So we was actually in the city that we live in, and a lot of times during the summer, what we would used to do, we would hang out at what they would call the
Like a
Jazz in the
jazz.
Park.
Hmm.
So, and we went with the two mutual friends that that I knew. One of them you knew, and the other one you just heard of him. You
Right.
didn't really know him like that. So, of course, I was with him, hanging out, and you was with the mutual friend that I we both knew, and she, of course, you still are a great looking lady and whatever. So she was thinking that, while we was out, I was spending all my time looking for you, and you made the statement to her, I'm looking for him. So that's when I knew. I was like, oh wow, that's good. That's when I knew that the connection was real. When you start telling, other people, really how you feel too,
Yeah. I mean, I think
so
instead of me, it was a lot of opportunity because we weren't really committed
uh-uh,
yet. We
we
were
went
just dating,
right.
maybe a month in or
Yeah,
something like that. So there was no real commitment. So,
right.
having a lot of opportunity, other, gentlemen out there, other ladies.
Yeah.
But I was, I guess he's just trying to say I was laser focused in on
Yeah.
him, so
An-
um
Another thing that I wanted to
yeah.
talk about real quick, you really, our great connection was you really helped me with a few first things that I had never done.
Hmm.
So in which, it was a great experiences for me. Things that I didn't know that I would really love to do,
Right. Yeah.
and to be
Traveling.
traveling till we done them together.
Mhm.
So it was exciting, and which that's what we still love to do. So
Mhm. Yeah. Absolutely.
great time.
So I'll say every relationship goes through, you know, times.
Oh yeah, it does.
So we had what I want to call a breakup cycle um, during our couple of years of
Yeah,
dating. I kept trying to break up with him. There was no real reason, but he stayed, just consistent.
yeah.
He was very respectful. It was never arguments or anything like that. He would come over, and I would literally say, "Please leave." If we could have reservations. I remember there was like a New Year's
Yeah,
Eve
it was.
event. And but every breakup was only maybe a couple of days. It was never
No.
weeks at a time. To where it gave us opportunity to do something else. It was
Yeah,
only 2 or 3 days at the
right.
most, but
It was.
still,
That was it.
it was a few breakups.
Yeah,
And like looking back, I don't even know what. I just think there was fear.
yeah.
God wasn't the focus
He wasn't.
yet, right? But he was
He was
clearly
in it.
in the
He
relationship,
was in it.
right? And I just think it was just a lot of fear of
Yeah,
the commitment.
yeah,
I'll say First John 4:18. There is no fear in love,
no,
right? But perfect love drives out fear,
yeah. It
right?
does.
Because fear involves punishment.
It does.
Love is meant to bring security, but no anxiety. And I think I just had,
Yeah,
the anxiety of like falling in love again,
yeah. That's what it was.
because when you've been through a breakup,
Hmm.
it does put that in your head or in your, being like, I'm never going to do that again.
Yeah.
Never say never.
Never say never. It's natural to say that though,
Just
because
never say never
yeah,
because you just never
you never
know.
know. I said it too,
We both said
but
it.
you never say never. We said it 20 years ago. One little thing I want to say real quick. We was actually in a store today, and the young lady was leaving out of the store, and the young lady said, "Look how happy you are with her." 20 years, and somebody still noticed that
Yeah.
how happy
I mean,
the
I'll
man is
I'll say
with his
God
wife.
was he had his little mixing bowl and he was working,
The
but
way
he had a paddle with me though
yeah,
because I was really trying to run. I was a
you
runner. I
was.
was the runner.
There's a Hussein boat right here.
I was the runner in the relationship because I was like, no, I'm not. You know how you say it was too good to be
True.
true,
Yeah. Yeah.
and every time it was like it was almost like I knew. Even when this is a crazy story too. Even when he proposed,
Yeah.
I was like, huh?
Yeah.
And what's crazy, I don't really like. Then I celebrated Valentine's Day,
Yeah.
but I don't really kind of get into a lot of the stuff now. But he proposed on
Yeah.
Valentine's
I
Day
did.
and did the old fashioned way, got on his knees and all this stuff like that. And my girlfriend who introduced us, she knew about it and she
Yeah.
called me the next morning. Or no, she called me the same
The
night
same night.
and she was like, she was excited. And I was like,
She said, "Huh,"
yeah,
but
like,
she took that
well,
ring
I
though.
took it because it's a diamond. I mean, what?
She took that
But I wasn't like fully like, no, I can't do this again. And that
ring.
was what was
Yeah.
in my head,
I get that. I
you
get it.
know.
After a couple of years, so I understand that after a couple of years
Yeah,
of dating. So
yeah.
I get that.
So what helped you stay patient during the times that I kept trying to break up?
Well, just knowing who I am, you know what I mean. I know who I am, and then I have a one of my cousins too, in which somebody who taught me how to pray and just talk about God and stuff, and he helped me stay focused too
Hmm.
because when you're going through stuff like that, so it might have been So it was some trying times.
We surrendered our relationship to God. The purpose became clear, right?
Yeah, it did.
Hmm.
What moment made you realize God was in this?
Oh, wow. So that's a big question. But I'll say for me, you know how, like, I had a list. You know, sisters, I know we all got a list, right? You want this, you want him to be this high, you want him to be this complexion, you want him to make this amount of money, this car, or whatever, like that. So I had a list, but it was nothing. It was my list was different from God's list.
Yes,
I guess I'll say
absolutely.
that.
Yep.
And it wasn't that, he wasn't what I wanted, but I thought I wanted definitely someone with no children. I
Hmm.
had no children.
Yeah.
In my mind, why would I want to date someone with two children?
Right.
You know, an ex wife,
Yeah.
you kind of got to have to deal with that. So that was part of me running,
Yeah.
right? But when I just said, okay, gosh, he's a good guy, he opens the door, he's a gentleman, he's very respectful, he's polite, he makes me laugh, we have fun together, we have a good chemistry.
Yeah.
I just kept saying, what else? What else do I want?
Right.
And then I just think one day God just spoke and said, just chill. So that's kind of when I knew he was in it,
Right.
you know?
Yeah. And he was.
Hmm.
Yeah. The purpose in our marriage. God used our story to build a blended family. When I say blended, she have a great stepmom. She has two stepdaughters. We have a son together, and then we have six grandkids.
Right.
And she is so great to all of them. So I would say exceptional.
Hmm.
She's an exceptional mom and stepmom.
But there was always a fear
Yeah, I know it's always a fear.
before, because not having children and coming into having, you know,
Yeah,
instant children. So,
yeah.
yeah.
So she has a cool name for the grandkids that call her, and she wants them to call her Yaya. So I think that's super cool. It fits her though. Yeah, it fits her well. So why do you think God put us together?
um, I mean, I think, a little bit of what you just answered,
Hmm.
the
I
children.
agree.
Um, I think our marriage has become a ministry,
Hmm.
to other people, whether it's in our business,
Yeah.
like some of our core values that we've created for the business, we
Right.
carry them. They may not be the same,
Right.
thing, but we try to carry like the honesty.
Right.
We help each other thrive,
Thrive. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
If you go out and say, well, babe, I want to do this or whatever, I'm going to support you as
Yeah.
long as it's not something committing a crime
Right.
or anything like that. If I'm going to be supportive
Yeah.
in things that I have wanted to do, you're supportive. So I just think that God knows,
Yeah. He
right?
knows.
He knows who and what
He does.
to put together.
He do.
And
He
for the
does.
longest, I just didn't know that he was in our marriage. I just, for the few couple of years of dating,
Mm-hmm.
we didn't,
Mm-mm. We didn't know.
honestly talk about God
No. At all.
until we started going to church after we were married. I
Right.
mean, I grew up
Mm-hmm.
going to
We
church,
both did. Yeah.
but not how we are now.
No.
You know,
It's great now.
so I just think there's so much more
Mm-hmm.
that he is saying for us to do as a couple. I think when we have distractions in our life, it's like we go through the stuff together. So
Yeah.
it's almost like we have to weather
The
the
storm together.
storms together,
And we do. Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Business, uh,
Yeah.
personal, things like that. So, yeah. So God can be working even when you can't see it, right?
Right. Yeah.
And love stories don't have to be perfect to be
No,
purposeful.
they don't.
Blended families are beautiful when built on faith and patience
Hmm.
and the communication. And what looks like chaos can actually be God's orchestration,
Yeah.
and He's working it out.
He's always working it out.
Hmm.
So thank you for tuning in to our love story. Please invite God into their relationships
Yeah.
and continue to enjoy your Valentine weekend. And don't forget to like
And
and subscribe.
subscribe. Thank
See you next
you.
time.